testing out our own dollar to show you guys, like, you will have fun with this. It'll draw a crowd. You know what I'm saying? And after you hang out with guys like this that pimp them out, you're going to have everyone staring at your trucks. Tell them about this thing they've been staring at for the last 20 minutes.
All right. So, I tried showing it off a little bit earlier, but
He's always
we
trying to
had
say-
our moment. So pretty much, once again, this is the G-Speed V3 chassis. I lopped off the back of the frame. It actually comes with an extended frame, but since I'm running it a truggy style, I just lopped it off. I passed it to Sean originally for the video to have him do some testing because once again I had a kid and I don't have time. So his feedback was that the sliders were hanging up on a couple things and that the rear shocks were too soft, which to be expected because they were ready to run. I didn't touch them, I didn't change the oil, I didn't change the springs, but now I did all that. I'm not going to be running a servo winch, so I ditched the dual servo mount and I'm going in favor of an axial, servo mount all the way to the forward frame and then running the battery tray a little bit lower because I like to set my trucks up extremely front weight bias for our terrains out here. It helps.
Also, you like to keep your center of gravity as low as possible.
Exactly. Well, raising everything up, I did raise it up, but I just took the trade-off. I took clearance and, even the weight on the sides will help you roll over a little bit. Mm-hmm. So within the center of the frame, it's just a little bit more stable. But the thing is, I actually used more ready-to-run parts on this truck than I would my axial trucks. I used, the stock shocks, which are butter smooth, and when I get a spare set, I'm going to hand them to Sean because he's a racer. He's been working with those shocks forever. He'll probably make them better than most of the aftermarket available. I'm running the stock drive shafts, which I'm not sold on because they're aluminum in the center, and if they get hit by a rock, they'll nick and they won't go in and out. They won't telescope properly. So, there's that. I ended up going away from the behind the axle steering because I'm impatient and I wanted to get some weight over the front of my truck. But I just ran the SSD knuckles for an axial 10.2.
They fit right on that?
They fit right on that. Everything pretty much from an axial fits right in that. The only thing that is a wild card right now is the internals for the rear end. I've heard the bearing dimensions are all the same, but I'm waiting to see like if somebody puts this gear set in a set of SSD axles. One beef I have with these front axles is this cross member gusset. There we go. Yeah, that would be the correct term for it. I can't pitch my axle the way I normally would to get my drive shaft in line, the way I like. Because of that gusset, I have to keep it pitched down just a little bit or I run into all sorts of issues with my panhard. But the one thing I say is that it's nice to have a truck that has an aftermarket pretty much for right out the gate. The only thing I had to custom make, and I mean, it's a little crass, is my panhard mount because they run a dropped panhard. It's basically to help with the deflection of your front axle going through the range. Maybe one day if we ever get Dan Thompson or, even if you want to go into it, that's a whole nother video explaining, bump steer and just the range of articulation and why you get just a little movement no matter what when you go through the range with your panhard mount. But this is a cool truck.
No, you did. Honestly, how about this? This man got to drive. We're all big fans of NMP builds. We've all driven them. I stay with the latest NMP build, which means that'll probably be mine next week. But for right now, what'd you think of driving that thing?
I made my decision very hard to buy the TRX4. The only reason I went with the Traxxas is because I wanted portals, really, with the lockers. That's really it. Because I have SCX10 after witnessing his build, how similar it was to the SCX10 too. Just, better quality in the shocks and other stuff like that. I really decided right there I wanted to step out of my normal and go with the portals. That's the only reason I did. But one thing I do have to point out about this build is this motor in this. So what is that, a Stinger by...
Yeah, the Three Brothers RC Stinger 2000 kV. So that's a revolver motor.
It's an outrunner, and what's really cool about those is we're usually... I could screw this up, but when you have an in-runner, you only have like 4 or 6, poles basically, but this one has, since it's on the outside of the can, you can have so many more steps in the magnets And this thing is the smoothest motor I've ever driven to date. I actually have been trying to order one. They've all been back ordered, but I will be buying one. They are that. Oh my gosh, I'm talking when like you have this thing loaded up, all tweaked out, and you can sit there and drag lugs, and you can sit there and watch it hit the ledge, and just slowly drag the lug of the tire.
That was beautiful, huh?
Oh my gosh!
I wish we could have scanned in for that, but I couldn't film because I was too busy enjoying that moment. Because like you said, you're watching these scale tires, the lug just pitching off. It was dope. It'd be great if we had those tires on that day, but we had the higher axles were great though.
We had to run Pro Lines because that's all I run, because that's all I believe in.
Yeah.
That's great to know.
Yeah. And even though these heavier wheels and these new Voodoos might have done a little bit better, who knows, it might have cracked that line that he said it couldn't crack before. And the other thing about these motors that's great is they're extremely cost effective. They're not a censored brushless motor that's $150. I think that thing was $70, and then I bought the Sidewinder 4 ESC, which is not the Mamba X, and it's weird to be able to buy top-notch electronics that aren't $250, $300 for your motor in ESC, and on top of that, it sheds weight.
Isn't that great? You're getting more cost efficient. You used to be like blowing our Olympic funds out the water. You know what I'm saying?
Just because you
Dallas
buy
Cowboys.
the most expensive, best stuff doesn't mean it's gonna work.
No, but it's nice to seeing you being cost efficient. I'm proud of you, bro.
And don't get me wrong, I still bought one of the more expensive servos on the market, the Three Brothers G13, but that thing is just godly powered. It is
I'm not expecting
no
you
joke.
to go full vegan on it.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. So I'm curious. If each one of you guys were gonna buy a truck, if you walked into a hobby shop right now, what would you buy between these two, just these two?
Even though what I said earlier, I would do what Sean did. I would go with that strictly because of the portal axle setup. And it's a great truck, very comfortable. I just feel there's still something about that one. I would replace all electronics first day though.
Entry level, I was more biased towards the TRX4 because you can buy them with a battery and a little 9-volt charger for your car, so you actually come pretty much standard. You already have you know how much to spend. Basically, you're gonna get a car that you can run. But Element now has, you can get yours with the battery with theirs, so it kind of offsets it. So honestly, if you're looking for scale detail, you hang out with a lot of guys who might run RC 4-wheel drives. I think the Element, hands down, compared to the Sport, not maybe the TRX4 like Bronco or anything like that, Element has the advantage over that. Just for scale detail, functionality, truck drive's amazing. The actual motor ESC, I didn't really have any complaints about, which is really rare for RTR, but same goes for the Traxxas. Functionality, if you're working with a lot of like actual rock crawling, you might notice a performance difference just because the portals give you a lot more clearance. So it's kind of a trade-off. I would say either one's a great choice.
But what one would you pick? Because Jay.
Well, yeah, you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Got to pick one.
I would have to go with my.
Ooh.
Even though I bought this just because I wanted portals, I would have to go with this just because it's new, and I really think Associate is going to start. The aftermarket sport's going to hit for this truck. Associate's been in the market for years. This thing is going to be the new.
Even though it's under Element.
All right. Well, we got 1 and 1. Chris.
Just saying.
What?
You're no,
next. It's
no.
cool. Oh, you want to be
Oh
there?
yeah.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
want to
be
finish
there.
off?
Oh
All
yeah.
right.
They decided.
I got to make it dramatic.
All right, well, here, look, because I'm not for the dramatics. The reason why we've always liked this truck more than anything, because we're always testing and tuning, right? Me and Nick, Sean, Jason all agree that the portals, you can't break these. We were actually shocked how people break them. These are the only portals we could never break.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford the
Right.
Vanquish ones, but that's why we've always stuck our builds around these portal axles when we wanted a portal axle truck. All in all, Traxxas electronics suck. I'll say that. But their customer service is great. Because whenever I would tell them, I call and say, yo, this busted, they send me every time. So shout out for Traxxas. I appreciate that. It's all about cost efficient. So that's the only reason why I know why your electronics are the way they are. But with that being said, I'm from car audio. You know what I'm saying? Things get changed up fast. Everything's up on an upbeat. This is outdated technology to me. That's the hottest thing on the market right now. And you can use the axial bag. You know what the bag means to me? It's accessories. You can use the axial bag to deck this thing out. First truck to come with overdrive. Someone should have been done this. You know what I'm saying? I understand the plastic bead locks, but at the end of the day, no one runs stock tires. I don't care who you are. Everyone's gonna put some metal. You know what I'm saying? It's time to metal up. With that said, I mean, you can go with this outdated technology, or you can step up into the new range and explore. One of the coolest things about having the newest crawler is you can go on Facebook and you can explore new ways of building it with everybody across the world. Everyone right now is trying to figure out how to make theirs the best. Shout out to Mario from Down with the Sickness. He's got a Toyota that's out of this world right now, but he's not the only one. There's guys in LA, guys in Florida. These guys are decking these things out as we speak. That's a growing group channel on Facebook. Not to say nothing about this, but this is the new wave. Now, if you wanted to track this, I'd tell you to buy one used, because there's millions of them out there for a cheap price. But if you want to go brand new out the box, I'm going with the Element. That's my vote.
Oh, we're 2-1.
Hey, Jay brought me in this, man. Buy used. If you're gonna buy new, you might as well get the newest product, right?
All right. Well, we're 2 against 1, which actually makes this interesting. So if we're talking box stock trucks, if I was gonna walk into the hobby shop and build a box, just be like, all right, this is what I'm walking out with. We all know my preference is axial based builds. It's what works for me. But this Sport is a really good truck out of the box. For our terrain at Rockaway and the little stones and everything that our axles would get held up on with the axial based builds, this just goes right over them like it's nothing. I have not broken a TRX4 portal, and I drive like an idiot. I had my brushless truck. The last time we did a big crawl in, I had the one with the 2-speed, but I had it in second gear with the Castle 3800 kV just pinned everywhere by the end of the day because I was trying to break it for fun. I didn't break it. But that being said, I'm actually going to split the decision, which I think is the proper response for these trucks, and I'm going to say I would actually buy the Traxxas. So we're 2-2, which is actually what I think these trucks deserve. There's no right answer. Both of them are great trucks.
But isn't that amazing how like for a straight axle vehicle to come with that? That's what they had to come with. Overdrive. They had to come with a 2-piece body that's real light. This thing put up a good fight. And not to say the CRC didn't. The CRC held its own for 8 months. Didn't break nothing. And that's the reason why Jay has a lot of respect for Axial's electronics stock out the box. Because Jay's running fairly on most original stock electronics when we are out there.
But, yeah. I don't know. That's fair.
That's a fair.
Yeah, we all kind of don't know what to say because it's.
I'll tell you this. We'll leave it like this. How about this?
The video speaks for itself too.
Yep.
One more test, dude. Jay versus Chris Vila, Mount Diablo, Highway 1 run. Jay, which truck you want to drive, Jay?
Well, I guess I talked myself into it. I'm in the Sport.
Ooh. And I guess I'm gonna have to try to drag this new Element up Highway 1 run. All right.
Hey, not mine.
No. Hey, with that, you guys, thank you guys, man. Thank you both for showing up today, man. Congratulations on your son.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And hey, we hope this helped y'all out, man. We'll see y'all on.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Guys, take it easy.